Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new series on the Teamriano channel. The series is going to be about World of Warcraft. And what is World of Warcraft? Some intros to it, and then we'll get into more specifics. It's just an online role-playing game with lots of people. It's been out for a long time. Probably about 17, 18 years, and everything I'm saying is estimates. I'm not giving, exact. About 17, 18 years. It's been through many expansions. We are currently in the Shadowlands expansion, I think patch 9.1. And when you come into the game, you start a new account. You get to this screen where basically you can make a character of different races, and with these races can be different classes. Each class has a different role it can play. Roles are things that you can do within a group together. So if you look, as I scroll over here at the bottom, you have warrior, hunter, mage, rogue, priest, warlock, paladin, druid, shaman, monk, demon hunter, and death knight. Now, some of them are grayed out, and the reason some of those are grayed out is because that particular race, a human can be a druid, or a shaman, or a demon hunter. So if you wanted to be one of those, you would have to find a race where that was allowed, and you could do it. You could pick your sex, male or female, your gender, what you want it to be. Then right here, if you look, you see it says roles, tank or melee, ranged or melee, range damage, melee damage, healer or range damage. That's the function that you could decide to play within that particular class. So a warrior could be a tank. A tank is a role where you could absorb lots of damage for your group members. Sometimes you need tanks to take on a really hard boss or a really hard encounter, and the tank will absorb all the damage, and the rest of the group can focus on doing damage to defeat the boss. So a warrior can do tank or melee damage. Melee is like when you hit in basically arm's range, as far as your weapon can reach. Hunters can do they can attack from the range or melee. Mages are primarily ranged. Your rogue is melee. Priests are healers or range. Healers will heal any group members that start to lose health. Or like the tank, who's tanking the boss and holding the boss and soaking up all the damage from the boss. The healer will heal the tank. And we'll do different series on all these different roles and how you can play them efficiently. You have your warlock, which is range damage. Paladin can be a tank, healer, or melee damage. Some of the classes can do all three decently. A monk, which is tank, healer, or melee, and a death knight, which is tank or melee, and that's for humans. So if we come here to the dwarf, and this is on the alliance side, there's two factions. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Two factions. You have an alliance faction and a horde faction. They've been at war with each other for some time. They work together at times, and most of the time they really don't like each other. They're kind of like warring clans consisting of all these races, so that you have all these races on one side and all these races on the other side, for the horde and for the alliance. So if we go to dwarf, you see shaman is unlocked. Shaman can be healer, range damage, or melee damage. We have a druid here. Druids can be tank, healer, range damage, or melee. They have a lot of flexibility. Druids do. And the demon hunter, which the demon hunter is tank or melee damage. Then we have a not a gender neutral, like a race neutral faction, which are the Pandarian. You can choose to be alliance or horde with the Pandaren. So if you want to be a panda, you can go through their quest line and choose which side you want to join, or you can choose it right away. It's your choice as to how you want to do that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pick a human, and we're going to start off with the most, I would call it, generic class, which is a warrior. So again, you would start up your account, pay your subscription due. Subscription fee is $14.99 a month. You can pay in 1, 3, 6-month, or 12-month increments. So again, we're going to pick the warrior. You start up your account, you come to this screen, you log in, you pick a server. I'm going to pick warrior. We're going to customize him real quick. I'll try and make him look kind of like me, which is Daddy Riano on Team Riano. I'm kind of light-skinned. Let me see. I got some head wrinkles. So I'll do some head wrinkles here. Let's see. That might be a little too old looking. Some of these look a little too old for me. Yeah, that could pass off. But too bad I couldn't add a few head wrinkles, but it's okay. Let's see. I have brown hair, but it's starting to gray, so we'll kind of go, it's starting to lighten up because of that, so let's do this one right here, that's fine. Okay. I do have a mustache, and it is arched. I do have a full beard, but it's real short. Let's see if they have something short. Because I don't have a full. Actually, the horseshoe matches mine well. Alright, we're just going to have to go with full. Now, mine is not this thick, but that's what we got there. Let's pick our hair color. Or not hair color. Hairstyle. So I've got short hair. It's not really spiky. Buzz fits the best, but it's really not my style, honestly. I think no, see, it's not, my hair's not that long, but I do spike it on the top like that. I think this will be fine. Alright, eyebrows. I do not have bushy eyebrows like that. I would say that's probably more like my eyebrows. My eyes are green. Okay. So this character we're gonna call T. Yeah, we got cat box on T. Riano. Team Riano War, or Team Riano Warrior. And we're gonna start him. So Exile's Reach is a new starting zone that's for beginner players, and it's good. But I like to stick to the old content. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Northshire Valley, and in a different video we'll actually go to Exile's Reach. So now you see we have our Team Riano Warrior. He's created. He's here. He's got his starting gear. He's starting in the area we picked, which should be Goldshire. And we're going to go ahead and enter the world. There's going to be a little story that comes on, but we're going to go ahead and skip that. Okay, so your mouse, if you left click, can move your camera all around. If you hold both buttons together, left and right mouse button, he'll move. And if you turn your mouse, it'll move as well. Now, to move without your mouse, you can use your keyboard, W for forward, S for backwards. And my A and D do not turn my character. I use the mouse to turn him by right-clicking. Spacebar has him jump. So spacebar to jump. Right-click and hold to move the camera. As well as left-click and hold. You can left and right-click to move. And W and A just to move back and forward. To interact with anybody, you'll right-click on them. Anything with a question mark or a yellow exclamation point tells you that they have a quest they're going to give you. Your quests appear over here on the right side. And then here's a mini map in the right corner. And the mini map will tell you what area your quest is in. So now we have the basics of moving, how we're moving our camera. If you have a mouse wheel, you scroll it back and forward. That gets you in and out to zoom in. You can play the game if you want to from his eyes. So now you can see, we can look at it just from his view directly if we want. So it's however you want to play the game. I don't like to play it like this. I like to play looking at my character. So I see that because it also helps me see more of the view around. Down here we have our toolbar. This actually is where our moves will go for our character. So you can see number 1, there's a 1 here in the right corner. Number 1 says it's going to slam an opponent, causing 6 physical damage. This would be 2, 3, 4. And this is going to have an impact onto the moves we're going to do. Right now the bar is bare. The reason it's bare is because we're such a low level. We're level 1. And you're not going to see a lot of moves yet. As we level, we get more moves. So we know how to move. We know how to go up to people and pick up quests. We know how to look on the mini-map and see where the quest is going to be located. If we click on this right here, it'll tell you the story behind the quest. So it just says it wants you to kill 6 Blackrock wards. And the game helps you track it. And here's a Blackrock ward right there. So we would go up to that and kill it. We'll do that. We'll start that in the next video. If you hit B, B shows you your backpack. Anything you pick up from what you kill or loot, when you loot something, right? It dies and you go to loot it. It goes in your backpack. Whether it's gear, items, they'll come in your backpack. And you can hit B for backpack. To see your character, you can come down here and hit look at the character info, and it shows you your character's attributes. Each character has different primary and secondary attributes: strength, stamina, and armor for a warrior, and any enhancements, so like critical strike, how to do more damage on a hit, but it typically doubles the damage. It's extra effectiveness, and the gear in each spot for the character. So the character again is here. Your spellbook and abilities go here. This will tell you all the spellbook and abilities. If it says passive, that means you actually don't have to hit the button to trigger the ability. It's always active for you. So this is a passive weapon skill. I never have to use it. This racial passive, it's only for humans because it's a racial. I don't have to trigger it. This, I do. It's Will to Survive, removes all stun effects. So I can click and hold this and bring this into my bar, which it's already there. And if I hit under there, it says A. If I hit A, see, he used his Will to Survive. And what that does is if you scroll over it, it tells you it removes all stun effects. Then we have our warrior abilities. And what's cool in the spellbook, again, which I've gotten down here, you can hit P also to hit it. P is a hotkey or a fast way to pull this menu up. Is you can look at level 2 we get charge, level 3 we get shield slam, level 4 we get hamstring, and you can see these are general warrior abilities. They're general. At what level you get these. Over here you have 3 specializations that you can choose at level 10. Each specialization does something different, which we'll learn about in a little bit. We can't see them yet because we're not level 10. See right here, it says N. This feature, bottom right corner, this feature becomes available at level 10. So we'll discuss those when we get to level 10. So all we would do is, we would take moves that we wanted, we click and hold them and bring them into the toolbar and drop them. Close the spellbook, and now you see this move would be here. And to take it out, we shift, left click it, and then just click somewhere. I right click it, and then it's gone. We want to organize our toolbar to the moves we're going to use the most and to be most efficient. So we covered our backpack, where our items go by hitting B. We covered P, our spellbook, where our moves will be. as we level up. We covered how to move with the W and S key, as well as if you click on both mouse buttons left and right, you move. And you can turn the mouse as you move to turn the character. If you just want to move the camera, left click and hold, and you can move to see all around. If you right click and hold, you actually turn his body. The mouse wheel brings you in closer, further out. And then the numbers here will correspond, like A tells you that we're going to use this move here for A, this move for number 1. And that's how we would use those moves there. Now what I do is when I hit escape, it pulls up the game menu. I go to interface. I set auto loot. So anytime that I go up to a monster and I kill it, when I right click it, it'll just grab everything off its body. If you don't select auto loot in the interface menu, you'll have to click on each thing, and I don't like doing that to save time. The next thing I'll do is I'll come to the action bars. I like to display all my action bars. So I'm going to select all of these and always show them and hit OK. Now as you see here, we have action bars on the right and action bars here at the bottom. There's a lot more now, because as we get more moves, this will be filled up and you will see lots of different abilities that we're going to use. And some abilities trigger other abilities. Some abilities cause you to have the ability to use something for free, where it might cost some kind of mana or rage or energy or whatever the class uses to spend or consume a pool for moves. That's displayed right here where my mouse is. In the upper left corner, it says Rage 0 of 100. Warriors gather rage by attacking something, and they gain rage. It makes them enraged, and they moves will generate rage for you. And then there's other moves that spend the rage. So some moves will become free when we do certain things, which as we level up, we'll talk about that. So we have our bars here. We add more toolbars here. One other thing we're going to talk about real quick is we discussed again all that. If you hit escape and go to key bindings, I have changed my key bindings to help into how I organize things. So what I've done is I've taken my action buttons, which are here. My first 5 action buttons are numbers 1 through 5, because I use my pinky, ring finger, middle finger, pointer finger, and thumb basically to do most of my moves in play, right? So then my action button 6 is an R. Action button 7 is Shift and X. Action button 8 is Shift and S. Action button 9, D. Action button 10, A. Action button 11 is my mouse 5, which is it's a button on the side of my mouse that I can click. Action button 12 is Z. Let me see here. Then I have my special action button, which is, let's find it. Under the multi-action bar, is the top bar right here. On that top bar, we have the bottom left action button 1, Alt 2, Alt 3, Alt 4, X, Alt D, my middle mouse clicker, C, and Alt W. I've arranged these purposely because it'll help us later as we get more moves to use those really quick, these key bindings really quick. And the good thing about my key bindings is they're universal across all characters. So you'll see as we go through more tutorials that a lot of what we'll do, for example, my action button 6 is R. What my R does is that's my interrupt button. So let's say the monster or thing I'm attacking is going to try and do a move where they're casting a spell at me, and I have a move that can interrupt that or keep them quiet. I put that on R for all my characters. And so with a rogue, as an example, rogues can kick, and that'll interrupt It like kicks them in the mouth or something like that. That'll interrupt their casting. With a warrior, there's something called Pummel, and I can pummel them. So while they're casting, I can pummel. That's an R. With a druid in Moonkin form, there's, I think it's a solar beam or something, and it silences them. Shadow priests have a move called silence. I put that on R. Anything that's a silence, regardless of the class, goes to R. Anything that's an area of effect, we'll call that AoE, area effect, what hits things in like a large area, I put on Shift X and Shift S, so I can use those moves. And we'll talk about that later as we go through. But so that's how I have this set up again. So the key bindings are set up here. You're welcome to follow, again, my key bindings. I do believe that'll help significantly. If you need to pause the video, just pause the video. If you're going to follow this setup for action bar and then multi-action bar here. So in the next video, we're actually going to start to play. I just wanted to go over some of the basics. If you hit escape, you can log out or exit the game. The best thing to do when you're logging out or exiting is do it in an inn or an area where you can gain rested experience. Down here at the bottom is my experience bar, where my mouse is. And right now it's 0 of 250, so we need 250 experience to get to level 2. The game has 60 levels, 1 to 60. And most of the game's content is when you hit level 60 now. And that's what we're going to do basically, is go from 0 to 60, 1 to 60. And we're going to learn to, I'm going to try and teach you as we go through just how to play the game and create some visuals. It's a real fun game. It's been out a long time. It requires patience. It requires other people playing with you. But if you give it a chance and you like role-playing games, you like playing with others, or even you can play by yourself. You don't need others, really, but it's fun. It's challenging. There's a lot to do. There's aspects of the game that I don't do much of and I won't cover much of. I don't PvP or player versus player. I don't play other players much anymore. I've aged some. I don't have as fast reaction time to play against other people. So I mainly play PvE or player versus environment content, just like, this is an environment. There's no other people going to attack me. I will play with other players, but we'll all play together against the environment rather than against each other. So I won't play against other humans to hurt them. I'll always play with other humans together as a team. So that's basically it here. We'll resume with our next video and learning how to proceed with actually playing. Thanks, and we appreciate you watching Team Riano in this series of Let's Play World of Warcraft, how to play World of Warcraft, Human Warrior, and the basics. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video to help us create more content. Thanks.